or on spiritual entourage and ancestral altars. So yeah, going back on the topic of angels, I guess we went into like false light angels and determining when they're not right. If you have a deep wound or experience with negative angels, thank you for teaching the wisdom of there being false angels, because there are. There's a false light system. There's a zealotous group of previously existed angels that like fall, and then there are the ones that just fake it and then want to become it in people's mind and interacting. Sometimes they go through healing and become something else if they're like an actual demon, and there's all this kind of stuff going on in the background. So it's not just to judge. Anything is cut and dry, light, dark, and neutral, and all the different shades in between. There's a lot of experience, but be defining with the type of beings you want to work with, and don't just work with anything. And it's okay if you've been wrong in the past. Be okay with being wrong. The more wrong you are, the better, because you get to be correct after that, and you have the wisdom and you have the experience that you know when that area of falsehood resonates. Even if it's a wound and it's just like, oh, I don't like how that person says that or whatever. That's has some wisdom to it. Doesn't mean throw out what the person's saying and just like, oh, I like my emotions and they tell me what's true. Your emotions don't tell you what's true at all. Truth hurts and can be horribly felt when you've gotten the wound to yourself that that limits faith, that I can't just trust myself and being right in everything. Doubt has a purpose, because it like goes deeper into getting truth to become better if you use it as a teacher. So don't be discouraged if you've interacted with false light. Just do the work that it takes and make the rules and disconnect from that. Use out loud words of stating your I am presence rules of reality. Get them confirmed. Use ceremony and ritual to concrete that in, so they can't just knock over your little fence that you put up or whatever. So it's really powerful, so they can't just mess with you anytime in any way they want. So, yeah. So, same thing with other beings. There's false dragons. People have like a whole bunch of weird beliefs on dragons. They think they're alpha draconian, reptilian stuff. They're not the same species. There's like a bunch of lizards. There's a bunch of insects. There's a bunch of mammals. We are not alone in the universe. Every type of species on this planet has some type of high sentience form, even if it's just in spiritual place. There's a high level of consciousness in the higher layers that's connecting down to that fractal level being, and sometimes doesn't even want to interact on this layer, or sometimes it just wants to be underground where it doesn't even have to mess with us. Sometimes it wants to come up, or it depends on what it is. But there's a lot going on to keep this reality how it is, so that we can resolve our stuff, because aliens can't just show up. They could sometimes, depending on their degree of authority, what they did to manifest that, as well as the beings they're working with and perceiving them. But that takes a bunch of different things, and there's a global narrative that wants to stop disclosure. So there's a whole range of awareness into that. That's another thing too. Aliens, of course, if you're working with that in a spiritual entourage. ETs, interterrestrials, interdimensionals, inner earth beings, all this kind of stuff. Boy, going into interesting topics here. Yeah, so dragons, don't be afraid of them. They're elemental beings of the programmers of the reality. They're a peak, a hierarchical form of elementals that shows all types of elementals in a combination, in a residual image, and form, like with wings that can breathe fire, that have all these things. Lots of different types of dragons from many different planets. They don't even have to look like the residual image of dragons. Like, they shapeshift. They don't have to have a physical form. They are programming in many dimensions. Dreamweavers, all this kind of stuff. This is go to fucking days on topic of dragons. They're not really something to fear unless you've messed with them in a negative way. Then there are, of course, positive, negative, neutral dragons. There are positive, negative, and neutral for every type of species in existence. So defining the rules of what type of being you're working with is crucial. Yeah, working with those, I definitely recommend working with either starting. If you're working with beings, work with versions of yourself, your soul family, Earth Mother, Source, your higher self, and then slowly go outward in degrees of separation and bubbles of fortresses that you've set up that make sure you're not messed with and that you're supported when something that wants to mess with you comes by. You can literally just work with yourself and yourselves and your inner power and your pure self and your higher self, inner wisdom and source connection if you wanted to. If you're that distrusting with external beings, which ultimately there is a degree where you want to detach from everything that's external to you so you can become into your full power of being. But this is a multiplayer reality game, and you gotta interact with people and physically. If you just cut off from all the help you could be getting, you're limiting your timeline quite a bit, and of what kind of growth you could go to as you feel. But be comfortable. Go at a speed that's good for you. Don't just work with everyone, of course. Like, share, subscribe for more content. Thank you again. Love you all.